Hey friends, it's Ruben with Hi-Fi MIDI. Thanks for joining me for this special review and demo of Session Guitarist picked Acoustic. I say it's special because I'm playing this pretty music as I speak. But other than that, everything else is going to be the same as I usually do it. So, picked Acoustic, made by Native Instruments in collaboration with Drumasonic. This is a beautiful library. It's $99, but it's included in Complete 13 Ultimate and the Collector's Edition. I've been playing with this for the past week, trying to get familiar with everything about it. This library is beautiful. It has very limited options, but it's 100% okay because of how good it is at doing the little that it does. So, if you're familiar with Strummed Acoustic is basically a pattern library that you can play. So you play the chords, and it will play that pattern in the chord that you're playing. That pattern also follows the tempo in your DAW. So that's the unique thing about it. And it sounds super natural. Not supernatural, but super natural. The good thing about this one, or the better thing about this one, is that it has melody, so you can actually play individual notes. Now, picked refers to the style of playing, not simply the fact that you have a pick library, the plectrum, because it has a plectrum and a finger library, so you can get those different tones. That can be toggled with the toggle slider right here, plectrum. Honestly, I much prefer the sound of finger picking. So each of these come with 4 articulations or 4 playing techniques. The first one is open, and that can be triggered by pressing C1. Then muted is C#1. Then flageolet, which is harmonics. That's such a weird word. And then D#1 is tremolo. Now, the beautiful thing about that tremolo is the fact that there's some variation in the dynamic as well as the speed, so it has a very natural sound. All these articulations, except for tremolo, can be repositioned. So there's a fret position slider right here. You click on it, and then, or you hold on it and slide up, and it goes up the neck. So when you go up the neck and you play the strings up there, you get a harpy sound. Only for the high notes though, because even though you go up the neck, you can still play those low notes. So the techniques are key switched and they are latched, meaning that you only have to press them once, and if you let them go, it stays on there. Whereas the patterns, you have to actually hold them down. See, when I let this go, it's going to default back to melody or the techniques. But this can be changed in the settings. In the playback menu, default mode, you can change it to pattern, and the patterns will be latched. So let's talk about the patterns. You have 4 slots in the melody library for your patterns, and these patterns are based off of a song. So there's I think there's 34 songs, I want to say. And these songs have preset effects that you can see here. But you can also detach them from those effects. So link to song, I'm unlinking them. So when you change your song, it changes the set of patterns. And let's listen to the first pattern. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'm going to give you an idea of the range of styles that this plugin has. This is called Countryside, and I'm going to play an A major on my right hand. So the blue area right here represents the chord range. Then when you let it go, it stops. And the time it takes to stop is determined by the latch mode. So stop within a quarter note, half note, eighth note, or a whole note. Here's another pattern or another song. Now you can mix and match the patterns by pressing these arrows. Or you can look at all the patterns by clicking on the magnifying glass, and you can filter through them by selecting up here whether you want open, muted, mixed of open and muted, strummed, picked, riff, and then your meters. You can also select by clicking in your own rhythm. So if I want, let's say, eighth notes, it's going to filter all of the patterns that have eighth notes in them. And then you can audition them by clicking on them. You could select the pattern by double clicking on it, and then it's going to fill that slot. So this is a very easy to use program, and I think it's very intuitive. All right, so let's go on. In the guitar settings, there's different miking positions. You can double it to get a wider stereo sound, or mono if you want. But who wants mono? That was a joke. You can change the velocity to make it sound more compressed or more dynamic. You can increase the volume of the fret noise, the tuning. You can make it sound out of tune. It sounds horrible to me. And then there's an effects section, which with all the effects that you're going to want, or most people are going to want, EQ, compression, reverb, delay. But I think the presets sound beautiful just the way they are. I'm going to go through a couple of them on the top right corner. You can click on the presets, SFX clouds. I think that's sound effects. It's beautiful. Listen to another one. Delicate picking. I love playing really softly with this plugin because it seems to get those really delicate notes. It's absolutely beautiful. So I covered the chord range, I covered the articulations and the pattern key switches. These little purple notes right here represent the endings. So if I'm playing in melody mode, I can slide up with this one. I can slide down with the next one. And then This is the body tap. So you notice I slid down. It just adds to the realism. I appreciate that. And then the next one is the slide. I don't like this one as much. That sounds natural, but when I'm trying to slide from one note to the other, I want that first note to cut off. It's just a lot less intuitive than the other ones. Sliding up is good for if you're gonna switch to a higher chord. It doesn't always sound great, but sometimes it sounds realistic if you get the timing right. It's a beautiful, beautiful plugin. Now, just before I end this review and demo, I just want to give you a little lesson on how I was playing like this. So when you're playing guitar, when you're finger picking, you want to try to imagine the tuning the standard tuning of a guitar. You're gonna have a lot of notes that are fourths and fifths apart. So when you're playing a chord, most of the time unless you're playing some weird jazzy chord, most of the time you're gonna have your root, your fifth, your root again, sometimes your third, whether it's minor or major. You're gonna have a lot of those roots and fifths repeated. Right now, I'm only playing 5 notes. You don't really want more than that. And you can keep it very simple. Like my movements from note to note or chord to chord are going to be very minimal. I'm going to have a lot of common tones. So right now I'm playing E major, E, B, E, B, G. I can add the G sharp in E major. So right now I'm playing 4 notes. I'm going to play a sus. So just move to that A. If I'm going to strum with my thumb, I'm just going to let it start from the bottom, work to the top, and just roll it. So if you want to record patterns, all you have to do is hit record in your DAW, hold down the pattern key, and then hold on your chord on your right hand. Whoops. And that's it. You could also change the voicing. So it de-emphasizes or emphasizes certain strings to give you a busier sound or a more simple harmony. You could also change the feel of it by humanizing it. You can change the swing. There's a lot that you can do in this program, but it's really focused on a certain style of playing. And that's okay. I think it's well worth the $99. It was only 8.4 gigabytes, but the load size is about 0.6 gigabytes or 610 megabytes. So you will need a computer with a lot of RAM, especially if you're using a lot of instruments, but it's not terrible. Well, friends, I hope that you enjoyed this review. Please leave a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about this plugin and if you like this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.